I expect a great set here. All of these finals have been amazing. I believe we are heading into our first match of the Grand Finals reset. Here we go. We have the Dedenne from Llqm into the Shadow Drapion from ItsAXN.
This is a good lead for ItsAXN. He's going to be able to get a lot of poison sting damage in, but keep in mind, Llqm will be able to start ramping up his defense on his Dedenne as well. Uses his first Protect Shield against the Aqua Tail.
And looks like Llqm is going to try and win this matchup. Now, you do take super effective damage from Poison Sting. That is the fast attack from Drapion. However, this Parabolic Charge is going to keep buffing the defense from this Dedenne. At some point, it won't take as much damage anymore from this Drapion, and it will be able to get the Thundershock down when 2 shields are used on the Dedenne.
Well, I think Llqm knows with his Diggersby how threatened it is by Araquanid, and how much with ItsAXN been running the Araquanid. I think that he's pretty keen on taking switch advantage here.
I think at this point, ItsAXN's heart might be racing a little bit. Oh, we see the catch on the Lapras. This is a huge play from Llqm. Let me tell you why. He has 2 water types in the back, ItsAXN, and there's a Parabolic Charge loaded on the side of ItsAXN.
Okay, it's so tempting to try and bring maybe in that Bug Bite Araquanid, knowing that you're going to resist all the charge attacks, but he has the better answer. It's the Lapras versus Lapras. This is the matchup that you and I wanted to see.
But this might also be the matchup that Llqm kind of wants to see. Even though he's lacking Skull Bash, this is a counter to that Diggersby that Llqm might be fearing here. But ItsAXN has another counter to the Diggersby. This is the team that ItsAXN kept bringing against Pokémon, and it seems to be the team he's comfortable with bringing into Llqm as well.
Llqm is going to have to figure out how do you remove these water types from the field. You're only throwing resisted charge attacks with your Lapras. It's not a water Pokemon answer. That's why he opted to swap out of his Dedenne, and now the combo play here, throwing the Parabolic Charge. This is going to strip away a Protect Shield from ItsAXN.
2 shields have been used by Llqm already on the Shadow Drapion, Aqua Tail, and then the Skull Bash from ItsAXN's Lapras. Does ItsAXN put up 2 protection? Yes, he does. He wants to get that Psy Wave down. Realizes that if you look at the team of ItsAXN, the energy will be useful everywhere. Even though the Lapras from Llqm is still healthy, you are slowly getting to Sparking Area range here as the Lapras from ItsAXN. However, you have another Pokemon to catch water and ice type damage on as ItsAXN. It's the Araquanid.
Yeah, Martijn, how do you manage this Araquanid at all? You have to bring in your Lapras here. You don't want to take any of these Sparkling Arios. You take a full Skull Bash here, which is going to minimize any Psy Wave damage that you're doing. We're going to see the back matchup play out, but it's Diggersby into Araquanid. Is there any hope here for Llqm?
It doesn't look like that. Llqm is very happy with this matchup. The water and bug type Pokemon comes in, goes for the neutral Fire Punch as ground is resisted by the bug defensive typing from Araquanid, and at this point ItsAXN can just start debuffing the damage output from this Diggersby as Bubble Beam doesn't do a lot of damage. Even though super effective, it will drop the attack stage of the opposing Pokemon always.
We called him Unstoppable Llqm, but this is looking like it's going to be 3 consecutive battles that ItsAXN is now 1 versus Llqm. Where in this best of 5, you need to win 3 battles. ItsAXN just won 3 in a row. Can he continue to maintain this momentum? Here in the meantime, he's able to reach his next charge attack. This is the Water Pulse. It does indeed does secure the knockout.
And then the Lapras comes in. Araquanid is still hanging in comfortably. ItsAXN takes game number 1.
There you see it, a 1-0 series lead right now for ItsAXN, 2 games away from becoming your North America International Champion. I think Llqm needs to figure out how he's going to counter double water. Lapras is not the answer to it. The Dedenne is great, but when you're bringing a team of Lapras and Diggersby in the back, you have to have more answers for water.
I guess he just didn't expect that Araquanid to come out because Llqm had bringing the Dedenne over and over. And of course, he did bring the Araquanid, and Llqm did bring the Dedenne. It wasn't aligned to it. He was so determined to win that 2-shield scenario, then went for the catch, baiting out the opposing Lapras. I think Llqm was happy with that, but he didn't expect the Araquanid. And when Araquanid came out, that Diggersby looked kind of helpless there.
Another one of those ABB teams that we've seen very regularly. And, you know, ItsAXN really seems to like this Shadow Drapion. I think he's been using it more than any other trainer in the tournament. While we have seen Llqm using it a bit as well, he didn't use it at all versus Pokémon, and he's using it less frequently than ItsAXN here in this tournament. ItsAXN in the driver's seat right now.
A great player, ItsAXN, and he got that Araquanid not just by himself, but discussed it with another top trainer, Doonbug. It is so good to have for teammates and friends in the community to have by your side. Llqm, of course, also has players like SJ by his side supporting him. And yeah, how are you going to do it in here? Because now you're on your own.
These trainers are still trying to come to these decisions of what is going to be the team that is going to get me this one win. It's all about this one game right now. That's where it all starts. Regardless of where the series is, you have to win this next game as both of these trainers. Here we go. We saw the Dedenne into the Lapras, I believe. Quick swap out. We're yet again going to see this switch matchup again. It is the Drapion into the Lapras.
We've seen this matchup over and over. And did Llqm bring the Dedenne lead again with the Drapion in the back? No, this time it's the Dusclops, so he's better prepared for a potential Diggersby. But there's no Diggersby from ItsAXN. He actually perhaps didn't expect the Dedenne at all. It is looking to be so good in the back.
Yeah, I think that this is still Llqm's game to lose right now. You do win these even shield matchups. We've seen him give up switch here before. What is this? ItsAXN. What are we doing here?
This is a resistant Alcatel. Llqm takes the bait. That is diabolical.
That is a huge, huge bait, making this matchup more difficult for Llqm. He's not able to overperform quite as much. Throws on perfect timing. Gets to the Sparkling Aria. Can you hang on here, Inadequence?
I think that Sparkling Aria would get really close to knocking out. ItsAXN knows that, so he puts up the Protect Shield. Do we see 2 Protect Shields used from Llqm? Looks like that this Drapion is outpacing. This is another Aqua Tail. It is resisted. I think this might barely not knock out. The next Poison Sting might. No Protect Shield being used. Can you get the Poison Sting down? Do we get that? No, it doesn't get Sparkling Aria.
Llqm still has a Protect Shield, but he's now lost switch advantage. This Dedenne is no longer going to be lined up versus this Shadow Lapras. There's no Diggersby to punish it, so he's just going to absorb this Aqua Tail. But how are you going to get this Drapion off the field now? You only have Thundershock and Resisted Hex.
This is actually perhaps the best case scenario for ItsAXN, coming out with so much energy for Shadow Drapion. That's exactly what it needed. Llqm puts out the Protect Shield for the Dedenne, which is still going to be very obnoxious for ItsAXN to deal with. In comes the first Parabolic Charge. Llqm didn't want this Drapion to get to another charge attack, but now you do buff up your defense, and I think that this Dedenne will outpace the Dusclops to 2 charge attacks here.
So you're going to get the first Parabolic Charge in 4 Thundershocks just before the Shadow Punch is reached. Are you now in range where 1 Shadow Punch knocks out after the defense increase?
I think it will be really close. Shadow Punch from a bulky Pokemon is not going to deal a lot of damage. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a catch attempt here. No catch attempt. Shadow Punch is coming through. At this point, Llqm is down a full Pokemon. If this gets the knockout, doesn't get the knockout, it doesn't just yet. One more Hex. Can you get the Parabolic Charge? No, you don't!
Unable to get the charge attack. That is going to be devastating for Llqm. He brings in his Dusclops. It'll be met by the Lapras from ItsAXN. With the situation that we see right now, I think that this has to be ItsAXN's game.
This is a solid matchup for the Lapras. You can only win this as the Dusclops when 2 shields are in play on both sides, and you have an extraordinarily high defense on the Dusclops to halve the Psywave damage here, but it's not going to save Llqm here. The Sparkling Aria is coming through, and with the Psywave damage, 2 of these are going to get a knockout.
And ItsAXN's own Dusclops is out of range of 1 Shadow Punch as well. You would need 2 Shadow Punches to knock it out, but Llqm, he is on the verge of getting 1 game away from dropping out of this tournament, and ItsAXN is so close to becoming your NAIC champion.
Going for the first Shadow Punch. Can Llqm get to 3 Ice Punch here? I think that you'll need it to knock out this Lapras. The next Ice Punch might still not knock out, maybe after 1 more Hex, but it doesn't matter, I think, because there's still the Dusclops on ItsAXN side as well.
Lapras just too bulky, able to do so much damage. This is not a one-sided matchup whatsoever, very neutral matchup, and ItsAXN actually gets to this next Sparkling Aria. This will knock out the Dusclops. ItsAXN taking a 2-0 lead versus Llqm. He has won 4 consecutive battles.
4 consecutive wins for ItsAXN in the Grand Finals in New Orleans. He lost to Llqm yesterday. He took notes, he studied his opponent, and he's now 2-0 up. This time, it is Llqm's turn to get an attempt at the reverse sweep. We saw Pokémon get really close twice against both Llqm and ItsAXN. Barely failed doing so despite all the boosts and luck that he could get. Now, let's see if Llqm can walk that same path, but then actually get the reverse sweep into Master Axon, the 2023 World Champion.
Llqm is going to need to rely on skill and alignment, though. He does not have any of those Night/boosts. He's not going to be able to get bailed out by any double boost there, so he's going to have to figure out his team of 3 that is going to counter ItsAXN. We haven't seen any hard lead wins so much for ItsAXN yet, so it certainly still could be coming. Again, he needs to take it 1 battle at a time. The most important battle of this entire tournament for Llqm is happening right now.
To say hard lead wins, what about hard losses in the lead there? Because I believe ItsAXN has led his Lapras into the Denner from Llqm twice.
That's true.
And he managed to come back from those battles. Here you see that a lost lead is not always a lost game.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Does that mean then that you need to have better answers to that Drapion safe swap that we keep seeing?
And that's just a really difficult Pokemon to answer, because if you don't have a Mudslap user, if your best answer to the Drapion is Diggersby, you still take super effective damage. You don't have fast attack pressure because your fast attack is quick attack. That is a normal type fast attack. Normal type is not super effective against anything, so you need to do it with charge attack damage. And as long as shields are in play, Shadow Drapion actually can hang in quite well against the Diggersby.
And it's really hard to chip and dip when there's a safe swap Drapion as well because of how quickly that it paces to energy. Most Pokemon are going to get outpaced by that Drapion, which will minimize that one-turn switch impact. And additionally, it stalls the switch clock out so much, putting you in a very awkward situation. So it's a tough situation to handle. I think Diggersby is that only answer, and honestly, Diggersby is a Pokemon that you really need for a lot of other matchups as well.
You talk about the switch clock. In Pokemon Go, you cannot switch over and over. There's a 50-second switch clock that will allow you to then do a switch. So once you switch out, you are stuck in with that Pokemon in a particular matchup for at least 50 seconds, and that is vital in some of these matchups. We're heading into game number 3. This could potentially be the last battle if ItsAXN wins it. If Llqm can win it, he may be setting himself up for a reverse sweep. We see again the diabolical bait. Llqm falls for it again!
I can't believe my eyes here. Yet another Aqua Tail, yet another Protect Shield. Llqm now at a bit of a disadvantage. He's going to be getting outpaced for the remainder of this matchup. ItsAXN simply needed to get one bait, and he'll now be able to reach 3 charge attacks before Llqm.
Now you can win this matchup as the Shadow Drapion. ItsAXN isn't living in his head. He's renting an entire house there with that bait. Crunch coming through. This won't knock out the Goliath spot just yet. He's going to put it really low. Llqm knows that. He's going to put up the protection at this point. I think as Llqm, you may want to make a catch attempt on any of the energy from this Drapion here. Going for the Aqua Jet right before the next charge. Does this pull the final protection from ItsAXN? Yes, it does.
Llqm is worried about the Diggersby in the back, and he wants to hang on to this Golisopod. That's why he's swapping out right now. He gets the catch on the Crunch, which is resisted damage into Dedenne. This could be what Llqm needs to get back in this game.
Luckily for Llqm, there is no Diggersby in the back. Does he try to get to another charge deck here? We see the swap attempt into the Dusclops. Dusclops comes in now. It will be able to hang on to 2 parabolic charge, but a Play Rough is also the option for Llqm to use on this Dedenne, which would hit a little bit harder. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough though, but with the defense you gain from this charge attack, a Shadow Punch is not going to be enough either to knock out the Dedenne.
Let's not forget the energy on that Drapion Martine, because that could be what determines the end of this game. Right now, Llqm trying to get to this next charge attack, but look how fast this Dusclops paces to energy, has this next Shadow Punch loaded, has 2 Shadow Punches loaded. Does this knock out?
I think it won't knock out. I love this play from ItsAXN. He's building up a lot of energy before the timer is up. Llqm has a parabolic charge loaded that might be crucial for the end game, as ItsAXN has the Lapras in the back.
How do you now get through this Lapras? Yes, you have a little bit of energy on your Golisopod, but you're going to need at least 2 Exorcers for that. In comes the Lapras now, trying to go for an Aqua Tail catch. Now the Crunch is loaded though. Will you be able to hang on versus this Sparkling Aria?
This might be crucial for the game. If you get the Crunch debuff here, the next Crunch might be knocking out, but no Crunch debuff. Lapras will be able to hang on here and go for the Sparkling Area right before the drop. If we get to another Crunch, this will secure the knockout. You have a parabolic charge load, but can you hang on to one Sidewave that might have priority? We might find out now. No, the Goliath comes in with the neutral axis that might secure the knockout. Let's see, go for the perfect farming. No, letting the Sparkling Area go.
Llqm unable to reach the charge attack. ItsAXN does get the Sparkling Aria. This is resisted damage. Is it enough to knock out? Looks like it takes down the Golisopod. Parabolic charge is loaded here, but there's only 1 HP remaining on this tiny little Dedenne. ItsAXN is going to take a 3-0 series sweep.
Race for ItsAXN. He is your 2025 North America International Champion.
What a series that